Welcome back, humans! You know what day it is. And before I get started, I would appreciate if you would smash that like button, hit me with a subscription, and turn on those notifications, because I'm here twice a week. And hey, I'm usually here on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but you know, I had a long night, so it didn't happen yesterday. But I'm still getting it in. The show must go on, and I'm still getting it in. And with that said, let's get on with the Vints. And here we go. So I was watching some baseball, man. I was watching some highlights because this game was like kind of late. So it was like Boston versus the Yankees. It was the Red Sox versus Yankees. And anybody out there knows about the rivalries. You know, there's some good rivalries there. But anyways, there's some fan favorite out there. He's playing out in the outfield, warming up. And sometimes he talks with the fans, interacts with the fans and things like that. And throws a ball out there, sees a Red Sox fan in the Yankee Stadium and, throws the ball out there. But it was caught by a Yankee fan, even though he intended it to go to a Boston Red Sox fan. So the game starts, and, next thing you know, he gets hit in the back with a baseball. The kid from the stands decides to be all crazy and ballsy and decide to just, whip the baseball out the player and hit him in the back. And it was already raining, it was already possibly, facing the rain delay, you know what I'm saying? And then, so the dude starts getting crazy out there, starts getting real hostile. My man turns around, loses his cool, starts cursing out there. People are trying to, they're trying to figure out who threw the ball, and they're pointing at this kid, and this kid's trying to, not get caught, playing his cool, trying to sit in the chair. You could see his nervousness, and they finally catch him, and they get him out of the game and stuff like that. So they take all the players off the field because now the managers or the coaches decide that, these guys ain't safe out there. It's getting hostile. People are getting crazy. What next? They're going to start throwing drinks or doing something because the game's getting crazy, out of hand. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. Like, it was wild, So they get all the players off the field, and then the crazy part, what I thought, like I said, they said there was something like this happens in sports. You're supposed to protect the players, and you're supposed to get them, into a safe area. Whatever sport it is, whether it's hockey, get them off the ice. Baseball, get them off the field. Football, get them off the field. Basketball, get them off the court. So they got everybody off the field, and the umpires, come running up to the dugouts, and they're telling these guys, you got to go back out in the field and finish this inning, and they're trying to tell these guys, you got to go out there and do it. And this guy was like, hell no, I got attacked out there, what the heck's going on? I don't feel safe, and, he's throwing this big fit in the dugout, and that's got to be a tough decision, you know what I'm saying? Because it's your job as a baseball player, but you also want to be safe, man. Somebody attacked you out there because you got to turn your back to those guys. Again, you know what I'm saying? You got to go out there, and you have to turn your back out to those guys again and put yourself out there for possible another attack or whatever. Or even if you don't get attacked, you're going to have that on your mind. You probably won't be totally focused in the game. You'll probably lose focus in the game, and you'll probably, cause some errors. Maybe some runs get through, or you're going to drop a ball that you usually catch because you won't be all the way focused. Because you'll be, but they made him go out there, and it almost like they made him go out there. It wasn't like he had a choice. I don't know if they would have put out there a backup player, or I don't know what, but he went out there and finished the inning, and I thought that was really, like brave and, crazy at the same time. Like the political part of the game, like where those guys were, I don't know, maybe it was like the TV contract, and these guys were like, we got to have this time, or we're going to lose this money, and these guys better get out there and play. So I don't know. It was pretty wild, and it's kind of crazy too when the fans go out there and do those crazy things. Because I was at the Malice at the Palace. I was at the game when we were getting destroyed by the Pacers. Like the Pacers was like shoe shining us, man. We was like down by I think 24 or 23 points. It was some kind of points where they were like we should have had bench players out there. It was that bad. The game was just shitty, but we still had starters out there. Like Ben Wallace was still out there hustling, even though we're getting blown out, So the game's out of hand. They called a timeout because it was like a crazy, situation. The game got a timeout. I think it was like a technical foul called. Like Ron Artest and Ben Wallace got a little tight, got a little crazy, a little tense situation. So they split the players up, and then he lays on the scorecard. A fan from the crowd throws a beer, and it hits Artest, and it goes crazy out there. He jumps out on the benches. Players jumped on the benches. Players was on the fans and players was all fighting everywhere. Fans were getting knocked out by players. It was crazy. There's a lot of highlights if you guys haven't seen the Malice at the Palace, but man, oh man, that was a scary situation. And we were getting so beat down. I don't even know why I stayed that long. And I even like almost fell asleep at part of the game because we were just getting like beat down. It was like no reason for like even the foul that happened because like I think Ben Wallace or somebody had a breakaway, and we, like I said, we were down by like a bunch of points, and it was like not enough time for us to even make a comeback. The only way that would have happened is if like the time stopped, except for like the Pistons. You know, like if time froze, we had some Matrix shit. You know what I'm saying? And then we could score in under like 2 minutes. Maybe we could have scored 20-something points in a couple minutes. But that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? They ain't giving us that technology yet. You know what I'm saying? So we were getting destroyed. And Ron Artest came over there and just gave Ben Wallace this stupid, uncalled for foul, like, because they were winning the game, like I said. And that's what started, you know, them two. And then the crowd, you know, some guy from the crowd, some douche, you know, some DB, you know, flung his beer out there onto the players. And then, like I said, it got crazy. It was really tense situation, man, trying to get everybody out. And, you know, we were trying to clear out the seats. And then when the fight started, people were suddenly like, just turned some switch on. And they were like, oh, like, now we want to fight, you know. Then they all just spilled back in like this big mob/mosh pit coming in back to fight. And it was just bananas. You didn't know where to go. You were like kind of playing ping pong in the middle like Frogger. Like, let's just climb over this seat. just trying to work our way to try to get up to the top. And it was crazy. It was a stressful day that night. But you got to watch out for fans. Like I said, sometimes fans like, you know, get out of hand. I probably get out of hand when it goes to like yelling and stuff. You know, like the closer I get to the court, probably I'll yell different more stuff. I've got a couple of looks one time where I felt like a little nervous. You know what I'm saying? Like I did get a little nervous. Okay, they might, you know, what if they're looking for me in the parking lot? You know what I'm saying? We were that close, and I had good parking that day, so they could have, like, you know, waited for me. So something, you know, we were that close to the court one day, and I was just trash talking, a lot of trash. You know what I'm saying? And then we ended up losing anyway. So I was the one that didn't get. They got the last laugh. They got the last laugh, man, because I was over here trying to trash talk, and then our team didn't come out with that W. So there was a town hall meeting, and everybody's talking about it, you know, because there was a lot of highlights and lowlights. And a certain someone, you know, the man in charge, the big boss man, you know, I guess was doing some, you know, having some, you know, conversation. You know, I could make fun of the stuttering of you know, in the questions when he was like doing, you know, teaching everybody vowels when he was like, I, oh, 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 you know what I'm saying? I could go there, but I'm not going to go there. All right. I'm not going to go there. But what bothered me is when they told him, how are you going to help the black community? And he starts talking about the Super Bowl. Not only does he start talking about the Super Bowl when he was asked about how he was going to help the community, he also brought up Tom Brady. And last time I checked, Tom Brady's not black. And it's also not the answer of how he's like, I'm going to help the black community with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is almost 50. He can't be playing forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be playing forever. You know, unless you start rigging games. You know, you start rigging games in the NFL, like, which that's already conspiracies. People already think you're already rigging games. But not anyways. How are you gonna you know, not answer the question? He just would not. He just steered away and answered just some weird, blatant shit. Or what about when he was talking about, man, you know, going to the moon, and people wanted to look for aliens and shit during another answer? I was lost. I was trying to get back, and I kept rewinding because I thought maybe, you know, I was missing something, and I was like, nope, that's what happened. I'm confused, and I'm sure everybody else was just like I was. I was like, what happened, and what the hell did he just say? What did he say? Can someone help me? Because I also heard him say something that I might get fact-checked for, but I don't know. I heard him say something like, the vax was the cure. And I was like, is that allowed to say? Are you allowed to say something like that? Because that's not true. And you shouldn't be saying things like that and leading people to think that way. Especially if you're the man in charge and you got hold of every single channel and you ain't got no choice when it's a channel you're watching and you cut all them channels out and we got to hear your old ass. I. Saying all that, you know, all them vowels for some weird reason. bananas, and I don't like it. Anyways, the dude wasn't answering any of these questions the right way. And what was funny about it is the people on those channels that are like, those biased channels that are just, for this person and for that person and against this person, against that person, you know what I mean? I don't even want to give their initials out of all them stupid channels, those political channels. But they were all talking like, this is where he shines, Tonight was the way, he showed why he's the man in charge, why he's the best. And I was very like, what's going on? Like what the hell is going on? I don't know, man. I was lost on that. I don't know. That had me confused so bad where I had to just leave it alone. And now I got to take a break from that politic area, for about a couple weeks, because it's going to be the same probably replay of all those weird shit that pissed me off, over and over and over. And I don't even want to eat it. I ate enough. You know what I'm saying? It got me bloated. Give me a Tums, because I had enough of that shit. But anyways, let's continue. Third-party arguments. Man, oh man. Third-party arguments always make arguments way worse than it could be. Third-party arguments are probably why it became an argument. Maybe it was just a disagreement before it became an argument, because there is a difference between a disagreement and an argument. But when it's a third person involved, they don't always relate the message the right way. Do they do it on purpose? I mean, I'm sure instigators do. People that love the drama probably do it. You know who you are, all you drama magnets. I've spoken on you before on previous episodes. So recognize. Third party, arguments. You got somebody that butts in, and they shouldn't butt in. Or if they're going to be the mediator or the messenger, because, you get those person where they're going to argue, and they're going to say, tell him, like I said, they could be in the same place, in the same exact room, 10 feet away, where they can still hear each other communicate, but they're so mad at each other, they don't want to talk to each other, so they got to use this person in the middle. All right, this is just an example. So you can be like, tell that person, you can sleep on the couch tonight. And then they can hear them, and then you can be like, well, tell them, I don't want to unless I get the good comforter. And they're going to be like, well, tell that person, hell to the gnaw. And you guys are going back and forth with this person. All right, because you guys are close. See, the communication could be in a straight line. You can hear each other, and you got this person in there getting stressed out in the middle, and it's kind of like you're playing ping pong but with a time bomb, and it's all a matter of time before the mediator's like, fuck all this, and they just get on out of there. Okay. Then you got the one where this happens to me. Okay. I don't know how many times I get so mad at our pets, because my wife wants to give voices to our pets. Okay, so I get in the third-party argument because my wife wants to give a voice to our dog. So I'll tell the dog, go lay down, and then my wife will come out of the blue and, give the dog a voice and say, I don't want to. But in the dog voice that she does, right? And then all of a sudden, I don't want to argue with the dog right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's you need to, get the third person out of there and just let the dog go lay down, because I'm not ready to argue with the dog voice and you, because then I probably would be the one sleeping on the couch. You know what I'm saying? With the crappy sheets. I wouldn't even have an option of the comforter if I did it like that, if I started arguing at the dog voice. Because it's not really the dog voice, it's your wife. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a third person argument that you shouldn't have jumped into, and I would fall for the trap all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, go lay down. But I don't want to. And I'm like, don't make me, what am I doing right now? You know what I'm saying? Trying to work. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I got to look for that. I got to be ready for that third party argument trap when it comes to the pet voices, because it's going to go down the wrong path real quick in a hurry. It'll go real quick in a hurry fast in a direction I don't want to go. Because it has gone there many times, and I'm like, oh man, I ain't doing this no more. I ain't doing that no more. I learned my lesson. You got to be careful with those third-party arguments. So like I said, that was my experience. So let's say somebody had to pass it where you're not in the same room and you can't hear the person, and maybe they just exaggerate some shit, Tell them you're a liar, and, go kiss my ass. You know what I'm saying? They were like, go kiss my ass, and then they had your mama. And then, it's getting all crazy, you know what I'm saying? And then you guys going back and forth. And here we go with some more, banter where the person is exaggerating things, and maybe they're getting frustrated, and they start, chopping up your messages in a different way also, just because they're getting frustrated and tired of doing it. And then the arguments get worse. So you always got to avoid those third-party arguments because they could get dangerous. They could be a dangerous road, like the Twilight Zone. You almost think you're some parallel universe type shit. It'll take you somewhere you just don't want to go. Because there's so many things that could happen. And it all could be from the mediator. It's not even just the mediator, because it's everybody involved. Because you guys are keep going back and forth, giving them juice to get over there, and they're spicing up the juice and changing it and exaggerating it, amping it up, and then just to try to get it over with. So it's everybody's involved in this big mess. So I would try to avoid those third-party arguments. Like I said, I get them in, and I got to avoid the ones with my dog, my own dog. I get arguments with my dog because of third-party arguments. I really should avoid that. So I was reading some news articles, some strange articles, which is my favorite. Sitting around going through the internet like I always do and finding these rabbit holes of strange news articles. And apparently there is a serial masturbator on the loose. Yes, humans, a serial masturbator on the loose. Oh, but he's not doing it in public, and it is a he. It's not a she. But there is somebody else, there is a she that's just got busted for serial masturbating outside in public. But this person is a human man and is not doing it in public. But he is calling public places. Apparently this man is calling libraries across the country and making librarians, I guess only female ones, and when it's a female librarian answers the phone, he requests them to read court cases over the phone, and then he begins to masturbate. But not any court case. I think it was I don't even know if I wrote this down, what court case it was. No, I didn't. So it was a weird court case that he, I guess, wanted every librarian to read while he would masturbate. And I guess during the conversation, like when the people were, making their, showing some of the police reports and things like that, he would get more into it as the phone call got on. They'd be describing parts of the court case and then what happened. He would say things like, and then what happened, and then, with sound effects and moaning and groaning. And if they got that far, I don't know how far some of these people got going. I don't know how exciting a librarian job is. So maybe they stayed there long enough to get all these quotes because they had a lot of information on what he said. Some of them had to stay on there for a long time. So it must not be that exciting of a job. And it wasn't probably that exciting where it was probably way more funner than your phone was at the minute, or your iPad or your tablet or whatever you have. And you were sitting there, playing your Candy Crushing, and you were sitting there Candy Crushing and, sweet, all of a sudden you get this notification over here like bing, bing, phone's calling. It's like, rare phone call. We don't get phone calls all the time this time of day. So you put your phone down and your Candy Crush, and you answer the phone, and this dude starts giving you the, turns into the phone sex line. And, they stayed on for a long time. They had some big quotes. I mean, there was like pages of quotes of what this man was saying to them. So I wonder how many times he got to the end. Because there was a lot of words. They got a lot of verbiage. When you look at the article, he said all kinds of things, man. So somebody stayed on there for a long ass time. So they had to be really bored, like all week. I wonder how many people was around them, how many people work in the library. I don't know how many people work in the library. Every time I've gone to the library, there's not many people there. At least the library I go to, you don't see nobody. Unless they're all hidden. You got the secret doors. And there's like library ninjas in case like a security option happens. They lock down a library and they were like, this is the dude that has that fucking 3 months overdue book with the DVD audio book. I know that makes no sense, but damn, it caused a reason for the library ninjas to pop out. Who knows how many is in there. Those places look huge. And then you only see like 3 people. You see three people plus the people in there looking at the books. But something could go down at any minute. And you'll see who they really are. That's probably where the people that go, like those John Wick type people, or the nobody guy, they have this secret past they're trying to walk away from, so they just sit in the library. And that's the wrong day to go to the library when you want to commit a crime. I'm going to take this DVD from the library. And then the door locks, and this person happens to be like some expert in hand-to-hand combat, and you get your ass whooped and didn't realize you was messing with the wrong person. And don't find the real ID. You see the real ID, and then you see the real name doesn't match the badge on the desk, then you probably die. Then my man kills you because there's some secret government agent from the but they're the librarian. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. Especially, I don't know how they went that way. But I'm just saying, this is crazy that this man had to go on. I wonder how many times he got away with it. Like I said, because people got a lot of info and a lot of dirty things that he was saying. So you're kind of dirty for yourself for listening. But also you had to get entertained because it's a library. I'm sure there's not that exciting story like I was talking about with the crazy crime and the crazy library ninjas. So I was just trying to hype it up a little bit. But I'm sure libraries do get some weirdos. I mean, I go in there. So enough said. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with this show called Vice. I really love the show. It's like docu-series type show. There's documentaries all the time. They go and do awesome research and get into some places and, get into places a lot of people can't go, and they get these real good stories, real good stories and about some, not all the time positive things. Most of the time it's like these dark, crazy places you never hear about, and you're just stuck watching it. Some crazy story on Vice. And this one caught my attention. It was pretty awesome and crazy and bananas. I mean, any kind of crazy, whatever you describe crazy with, Even the people that don't even say crazy anymore, the craze. The cray. Anyways. This woman and a man, they were newlyweds, and they were successful fitness. They had a fitness gym. They had a fitness company. They had like a Planet Fitness or LA Fitness or, what's the other one they got out there? I don't know all them damn gyms. So they got this company. They got this fitness company. It's doing really well, and there's these newlyweds, and he's from America, and she is from, I don't know. I think she's from South America or she's from Mexico. I'm not for sure. I forget that part. Anyways, that's why I'm not working for Vice. I'm just giving you the scoop and the lowdown. But anyways, where was I? The young couple. They were a Latin couple, newlyweds, doing good, being trainers, teaching boxing and fitness and all this stuff at this gym, doing well. And apparently, shortly after their marriage, the wife started acting strange and noticed a guy from the gym that was boxing and stuff like that, noticed that this man had some gang affiliation. And they said the guy started talking with the woman, and she started asking things. And I don't know how this conversation comes up, but apparently between their conversations, that guy says, I know a guy that chops people up if you need a guy. And so I'm like, how does that conversation go? And you're just at a gym working out. You're at a gym working out, boxing, getting your cardio on. And then all of a sudden, like, murder for hire just comes out of nowhere. Like, hey, man, you're hitting that bag pretty good. You know how to kill somebody? Like, what? But I know a guy who can chop people up. Like, how dumb are you or whatever? Like, you're just going to just spill that Rolodex out. Like, oh, I know a guy. Like it's some kind of like, like it's somebody that's like a plumber or some shit, Oh, you got leaky pipes? I know a guy, Like, how did that conversation come up when you guys are just working out? You just got a guy working out at your gym like, hey, how you doing today? Looking pretty good. Know anybody that kills people? I don't know how that conversation even come about. How did that come about? How did you just come out to somebody, yo, man, I need somebody out of here. And you just met them. Like, they're working out at your gym. They probably I don't even know if they had a membership. It's just bananas. So anyways, the dude's working out. She's talking to the dude. She finds out there's a human butcher available for hire. Everybody's hiring, like I said back in the day. Even the hustle game. The crime game's obviously hiring. Mafia's hiring, obviously. Look at this. They're hiring human butchers. There's people who's looking for jobs everywhere. But let me continue. So he talks about the human butcher, right? And he's like, I'll give you the guy's number. Little did she know, that guy happens to be friends with her husband, like a close friend. So he probably led her down this little rabbit hole And he ends up giving him the phone call. He's like, yo, Holmes, your lady was talking about hiring the human butcher to chop your ass up, to take you out. So he got scared, shit himself. I don't know if he really shit himself. I just had to get a, who knows? He could have shit himself. That was some crazy news to hear on the phone. Or what if he was on the toilet when he took the phone? Then he didn't really shit himself. He just took a shit. I don't know why I took it that way either. But let me continue. The guy calls him on the phone, tells him that his wife wants to kill him, hires the human butcher. I mean, they don't really hire her. She wants to hire the butcher to kill his ass. So my man calls the police, gets the FBI involved. The FBI are like, oh, man, we can't really go after it right away because she hasn't done anything yet. So what we need to do is get definitive evidence so that when they take her to court, they can't make her the victim. Because some lawyers are crazy, mad scientists up in there, and they can make a guiltiest person ever, go scot-free or look like a victim. So according to these lawyers, and according to the FBI is what I meant. So the feds were telling these people, we got to get more evidence before we can move forward, or else she's going to just get free or just get a little slap on the wrist. And she's, this time she failed and she'll probably succeed the next time. So they tell him, you got to fake your death. And they hire this makeup crew and they make it look like my man's dead, and they interview her as she meets the hitman, all on video, talking about what she wants done. She wants him chopped up and dead and all these things and how much it was going to cost. She said she didn't have that much money and she was going to get the money after he died. She was going to get all this, insurance money or who knows. So they faked this dude's death. They put makeup on him, made him jump in a hole and everything, man. Would look like a bullet hole on the side of the head. And they showed a lady, that they showed in the pictures that the job was done. So she had a little payoff, a little bit of down payment of the money. And they met in the car. So right there, they got her doing a transaction. Boom, got you number one. You know what I'm saying? And then they showed her the video, or it wasn't a video. I think it was just a photo of him, in the ditch. It looks like he's got a bullet hole in his head, tied up, and he's like in a hole. Like they got him in this hole, like, desert graveyard. And she sees the video, and what was crazy, man, she looked like she won the lottery. All right, she looked like she won the lottery. She sit there and does one of these, like man, she doesn't hit it rich or hit it big. I was like, man, this lady's got no heart, or her heart's just cold, cold, dark place in there. And looks over, and so that was the evidence they needed. They showed up at her work, and the police are there interviewing her, and she's just working while they're telling her husband's been missing. I haven't seen him since Wednesday. Man, she's just keeping on working in the gym, cleaning up the office and stuff. And then my man's sitting there quiet, and next thing you know, they're like, well, we got a warrant for your arrest. They arrest her, and he shows up, and she sees he ain't dead, and it was, man, that was so intense. And I love that show, man. I like that show because some of them shows are really good. Some of them are a little too sad. Like when they go some of them countries where stuff's just real hard, I can't really get through those sometimes. Some of them are a little too much for me, and then some of them are just like so intense you can't stop watching them. But speaking of things I've been watching, I watched this new show on Netflix, and it's a dating show. And my wife brought it up to me, and I'm like, this looks kind of weird, So I was like, okay, I'm going to watch it, to make fun of it, and I'm going to sit here, and I'm not going to be into it. But it actually was pretty interesting. And it's a dating show, and it was a real interesting approach on dating. It was called Sexy Beast. And, spoilers, people. I mean, you could see it in the trailers, the spoilers, I just gave you a hell of spoilers on that other shit, so sorry about that. But anyways, it's called Sexy Beast, and it's like a blind dating show. But it's an interesting blind dating show because if you see the trailer, people are all in costume. And they got really nice, like, makeup work done, man. It doesn't look like just no silly, cover my face or blur my face out stuff. They look like they got some really work done, like kind of like the Masked Singer and all them people, like even more than that, because you can see their eyes more better, you can see their lips, and it's kind of crazy. Excuse me. And anyways, real nice makeup work on all these people, and they go out on blind dates together, and they're all different animals. They're all different creatures, and they have to just go on these blind dates. And I thought that was kind of cool because you don't really just go based off looks. You got to go off their personality. So, it could be somebody not attractive, or it could be somebody attractive and, just have an ugly personality. You could be super gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous, and you could be, an asshole of a lady or a bitch lady and nobody likes you or something like that. Or you can be some super hot dude who's a big DB, and all about himself, which was all those characters were happening as you watch the show. You've seen some very arrogant, conceited people. Then you saw some really cool people. And then you saw, then you got into it where you were seeing some of the couples like, oh man, these two should have made up. These two should have been the ones. But it was pretty fun. And I recommend if you guys haven't seen it, it's a pretty fun dating show. And it's just a real different approach. I thought it was really cool. And I liked all the makeup work. All the makeup work was really cool so far. I haven't watched the whole season yet. I think there's more than one season. I think there's about maybe 4 seasons or so. And all the makeup work is amazing. I used to be a real fan of this show. It was like competitive special effects work. And it was on Sci-Fi. And that show had like a bunch of seasons. I forget the name of that show too, man, but that was one of my favorites. And they would do like competitive things like that. Some of them would get, some of their stuff shown in films or get to work with people in films. And it was really neat. You would see all this really cool special effect kind of things. And that's what you see in this show here. They did, whoever's doing the makeup work is doing like amazing work. They're like praying mantises and, bears and tigers and, all the makeup work looks really cool. So I recommend to see it. It was pretty neat. And some of the people, you think how they're going to look and, you kind of play it off like, see how good you are. We were kind of doing that. Like, I think it's going to be this and this, and one of the guys that was in disguise actually, told the one girl how she looked. He could just tell. He said, I could tell by the way you are. You got blonde hair, blah, blah, and he ended up being right, at the end. It was kind of funny. But it was an interesting look at dating for sure. I think it should be done more that way anyways. I think it'd be making it more funner. Making it more funner approach on things. You do your background checks, of course, because you don't want no weirdos. Because I would be, and also people at the restaurants probably all got, told ahead of time, because I'd be tripping if I was out to eat, and you see these two couples come up and they're two, animals dressed as animals. You would think first thing, before the cameras, if you didn't see the cameras and shit like that, knowing it was a reality show, you'd be like, oh, are they furries? And then what they call the furries, but people that, like to do all that stuff, like, damn, these people are deep up in it. These are lifers. They're out in the open or something. Who knows? But anyways, it was a fun show. I think it was pretty interesting take on dating. If everybody had to do it, like out in public, like if you had to, sign something and do it in public, I think that'd be pretty interesting to see more people do it. I think it would be kind of neat kind of thing. And maybe there should be a restaurant out there. And remember, this is my idea, so y'all better not take it. Because y'all heard it first on Time Vision over here on Meant to Vent. About the restaurant based on this blind date scenario. You got to have costumes on. Plus, you also got to do background checks because you don't want no psychos in there. First of all, you don't want nobody to be in there like, the hockey mask stays on. And, scaring people all over the place. You can't bring a real axe in here, sir. You didn't say what kind of costumes. Well, we preferred animals. And then I think it would be pretty awesome. And you can't, I don't know. It would be kind of fun if it was a restaurant themed with kind of dating in that way. Who knows? So I found some strange article again, another strange one. This one's a doozy. All right. This one goes from the occult. There's all you think you don't hear too much like of cults, on the news all the time because there's a lot of bullcrap going on in the news right now. But they're still out there. And this is an article from like June. Okay, like last month. And a woman was in this cult where they are like in an alien cult that I guess they're like against reptilians, or they're against the evil aliens, and they're for the good aliens, and they believe that aliens are going to come and, help them out. I don't think it's like that Heaven's Gate motherfuckers where I don't think that they're going to like drink Kool-Aid and shit. But they're definitely a cult, and they claim it. They claim it proud. But this lady shot her boyfriend because she thought he was one of those reptilians. She thought there was a reptilian alien. Now I'm happy. I'm okay. Maybe they don't drink the Kool-Aid that makes you all die, okay? Maybe don't put that permanent sleep Kool-Aid, but what are they taking for them to believe in their brain, or what kind of brainwash things are going on where she literally was in her mind in sole belief that this dude was a reptilian and that she shot his ass to death, like shot him, killed him. Like, what was going on? Like, was she on like some kind of hallucinogenics, or was it just some extreme like MK Ultra brainwashing techniques? And they just had her like triggered, you know, and the song came on, you know, like Zoolander, you know, the song came on the radio. It was like, relax, don't do it. You know, she started fucking, my man looked like a lizard. She shot his ass. It's crazy. That cult stuff's bananas. You hear about them cults and some of these guys having this like this power over people, and they make them believe these elaborate things, and there's all these crazy, you know, you can go out down the line of all those crazy things that happened back in the day. And then the ones that are going on now, not people are hearing about. And there's one right here you're hearing about now. Because of me. An alien cult. Who's like against the reptilians. But you got to watch out if they think you're a reptilian, because they'll shoot your ass. And for real, not with no BB gun. You know, no reset button. It'll be for real shooting. Whew. It's crazy. So I forget what they were saying this was at, but they were saying that there's these new laws that are protecting people that are shoplifting. Like, I'm seeing all these videos where these people are just taking shit and they're not even getting arrested. They're just walking in the store, loading up all this stuff, and just walking out of the store into the cars, and like nobody's stopping them. So apparently what I've been hearing is that if it's like under $1,000, you're not going to face jail time. So all this stuff under $1,000 is free. And like, people are just, I mean, it is crazy. This one dude had this bag on his back that was so huge, it looked like a tarp. Like, he just tied a tarp together, like a circus tarp, and it had like all this stuff in it, and he looked like a giant snail, like walking out to the car. He couldn't even get in the car. It was in like a 4-door sedan, and this dude had his big snail back on, and there was no way he was getting in. So he kind of like was rolling himself, trying to get on top of the back of the car, you know, to get this big tarp on there. I don't know how it was going down, but you saw the bumper dragging on that plastic bumper dragging. Oh man, it looked bad. And I guess if it was under $1,000, according to what I was hearing, where that area was, I forget what the area was, but if it was under $1,000, you won't go to jail. So all I'm saying is like, I can't wait for my TV to go on sale, because I'm going to go on a road trip. I'm going to look where this place is. I'm going to have to go in there and make sure, like, if my TV that I want is like under $1,000, I'm going to go get the one I want on the road trip and then come back home. I don't know if it works that way, but it's just wishful thinking. You know, it'd be cool to go on a road trip when your TV goes on sale. I'm just saying, it's just bananas. People just going through there and just taking it and walking out. When you see the footage, it's unbelievable, because I'm like, wow, like, they're just, nobody's stopping them. That won't happen here. I mean, if people do it here, you're probably going to get stopped and arrested. But over there, they were letting people do it. So I'm just saying, like, when my TV goes on sale, I want to do it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm considering this. So I think I'll end this one with a quick little news headline. It's a breaking news bulletin. A new graph study shows the difference between countries that have giant space sticks up in space and other countries that have universal health care. And with that said, I hope you guys liked this episode. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you would smash that like button, hit me with a subscription, and turn on those notifications. Because like I said, I'm here twice a week. And with that said, this has been another episode of Meant to Vent. Till next time, humans. See ya.